What's up, YouTube? George's Silver Hunter here, and I am freshly back from a trip to a couple of my local Wells Fargo branches. Today we had what I like to call a little bank teller score. So let's jump into it. So I was driving around dumping coins today at a few branches that I don't frequent very often. And while the teller was counting up the coins that I was there to drop off, I asked, do you guys have any loose halves behind the counter or any other interesting coins or banknotes I could look at? The teller looked at me and she said, actually, I do. She then proceeded to pull out about $30 in halves and a small basket filled with the following. So let's take a look at what she ended up showing me. So, needless to say, the $30 in halves, she was still counting up all the rolled coins that I dropped off. She let me actually search those rolls while they were customer wrapped. She let me search them while she was counting up all my rolls, and it's in here somewhere. Where'd you go? It's hiding. There it is. And one of those three customer wrapped rolls, we ended up with a 1967 40% half dollar. It's not in great shape, but it is a 40% silver. So this was pickup number one. Obviously, these are pickup number two. But for those of you that don't know why I'm excited about this 1967 half dollar, it's because it's made of 40% silver. So any half dollar made between 1965 and 1970 is made of 40% silver. And any half dollar made in 1964 and prior is made of 90% silver. So this coin right here, I paid 50 cents for, and at today's spot price of $22.49, which is way down today, we had a huge crash today, this one coin in melt value alone, silver value alone, is worth $3.32. Now, in a private sale, you could probably get $4, maybe a little bit more for it. And if you had a 90% silver, today the melt values on it is about $8.13, but typically in a private sale, you're going to get 19.5 to 20 times face, which means this one half dollar would be worth about $9.50 to $10. So this is why if you watch a lot of coin roll hunter videos, half dollars is what a lot of them mainly search. It's a lot of what I search because it's still the denomination that you have the highest likelihood of finding silver. And when you do find it, it's going to have kind of the most silver content in circulated coins that you're going to find. So that said, when they pulled out all of these Ike dollars, I was really excited, hopeful to find some silver in them. So I stacked them all up, and if you've ever silver hunted before, you can just look at the edges, and it's very easy to see if you have silver in there because you'll have a white or gray line, and silver just stands out against this nickel clad really, really well. I was disappointed to find out, though, that there was no silver in these halves. But we're going to go through them because there are a few varieties, and a few of these look pretty darn good and in a high enough mint state condition. And with the right variety, some of these can be worth several $100s. I don't know if we have that here, but we're going to do a little history lesson, and we're going to go through and see if we found anything cool in these Ike silver. I say silver dollars, these Ike dollars. So the first thing I want to do is actually sort them by mint and denomination, and then we'll talk about the Ike dollar in general and what you're looking for in each particular year, and if there's even really anything special to look for, and we'll pull out anything that looks special. So give me a second. Let me stack these up. We'll be right back. So as you can see here, we ended up with 3 1971s. We had 8 1971Ds. We had 9 1972s. We had 8 1972Ds. We had a 74. When I just say the year, it means it's made in Philadelphia. If it's got a D, it's made in Denver. So these at the top row are all Phillies. We ended up with 3 Bicentennial, so they're going to say 1776 to 1976, and they're going to have a different reverse, which we'll get into. And we had a 77 Philly, a 77 Denver, and a 1978. And one that somebody really just didn't like because it looks like they've scratched the year out and they've etched it all up, and I don't know what they've done with it, but it's a disaster. So it's an unknown. Not sure what that one is. So those are all the years we have. So the Eisenhower dollar, or Ike dollar, ran from 1971 to 1978. This coin was produced to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who had died in March of 1969. To honor him, they put his likeness on the front of the coin, or the obverse of the coin. And due to the moon landing, there was legislation in place to ensure that the moon landing was alluded to or honored on the reverse of the coin. And the Bicentennial has a slightly different design, but the moon is depicted on all reverse designs of the Eisenhower dollar. What we want to do right now is we want to dig into PCGS and Redbook and see what varieties exist for the Ike dollar and get each one of these under the scope to see if we got lucky enough to actually find or purchase any of those varieties. So we'll bounce back and forth between this mat, the computer, and the scope, and we'll see what we have. I've pulled up PCGS.com. I've already drilled into the Eisenhower dollar section and expanded all of the potential varieties that are out there to see what we might be looking for and to get an idea of value. The 1971D does have an FS901, which is the Friendly Eagle variety, and we'll take a closer look at that in a moment. It does come with pretty significant value if you have one starting at XF40 at $26. The 1972 Philly does have a Type 1 and Type 2, and a Type 3, and the Type 2 also has a variety in the FS901. So we will mainly be looking for Type 2s and Type 3s because value actually starts there at XF40, and I know some of the coins that we have are in pretty good shape. Beyond that, if we go from the 72D all the way down to 78D, really until you get into MS63 quality, you're not really getting anything more than $1 for these coins. So unless I have a stunning one, we're not going to spend any time on it. We have no silver. We do have some Bicentennials, and you'll notice the 1976D does have a Type 1 and a Type 2. And sorry, so does the 1976 Philly, and we'll take a closer look at that. So let me go through these coins, see if I have any of these varieties. If I do, I will bring you in, and we will take a closer look. Going through all of our 1971D Eisenhower dollars, and unfortunately they were all this Type 2 common reverse. Now, if you have your own Ikes that you want to look through, or you're just curious on how to tell the difference, the Type 2 common reverse is shown by this angry or maybe foreboding or evil looking eyelash or eyebrow. At some point during the production, they determined that this was kind of too angry looking and they wanted it to seem less imposing. So a request was made to remove that eyebrow. So the Type 1 Friendly Eagle is missing that sort of angry eyebrow. So what we have in front of us are the 9 1972 Phillies that we needed to go through, and we ended up with 6 1972 Philly Type 1s, and we ended up with 3 1972 Type 3s. So let's go over to the computer and have a quick look at what the difference is between the Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3, and we'll get these under the scope to show them to you. Taking a look, this is actually a page from coinweek.com. The 3 types are laid out here. Really what you want to find is that Type 2 because it's got the most value behind it. But we mainly have the Type 1 and Type 3. And the easy way to tell them apart is the Type 1 has kind of a flat line. It's not a round earth. So that's the easiest way to tell that one apart. The secondary characteristic you're going to look for is these islands to the south of Florida. If they only go off to the east and not to the west, you know it's a Type 1. The Type 3 is a round earth, and this first island under Florida extends off to the west, and you have islands out to the east. So those are the things that I was looking for. The Type 2, you can see there are no islands. It's just sort of a mush, almost like a weak strike. So this would be really easy to tell as well, and I can tell you we don't have any of those. So let's get these under the scope and have a look. So here is just one of the Type 1s. You can see here our islands go south of Florida and off to the east. And even if I turn it more so it looked like the picture, you will see we have a nice straight line. This is not a good circle for the Earth. So that is most definitely a Type 1. I maybe have one of those that could get up into XF40. I'll show you all 3 of the Type 3s, and we'll look at it next to the pictures. But you can see here we have a round Earth, and this telltale island does go off to the west. Definitely a Type 3, and it's actually in pretty good shape. I would say this one could easily get XF40 or better. Here is the second one. Again, round earth, 3 islands off to the west. And coin number 3. Nice round earth, nice long island going off to the west. So we have 3 Type 3 1972 Phillies. So if we go over to PCGS and look at the pricing on it, the Type 1, as I said, I don't think I have any that get into the MS63. I might have something that gets up into like AU50, but I've looked and they're still only worth $1. That said, this Type 3 at an XF40 is worth about $15. So let's take a quick look at those just sort of under the camera if you guys want to agree or disagree. This is one of the Type 3s. Really nice looking coin, both front and back. Good feather details. Under the scope, you can see some nicks and scratches and bag marks and stuff, but all in all, a lot of really good detail on these coins. This is the second one. I think this looks fantastic. You know, none of them are perfect, but definitely I think good enough to get into that XF40 or higher category. And this one probably has one of the nicer looks from a sheen perspective, but has a lot of scratches on it. Again, wonderful detail in the eagle, though. All right, well, those were my 1972s. We're going to go and have a look at these Bicentennials. We have looked through all of our Bicentennial or 1976 half dollars, and they are all the Type 2 thin letter variety, which appears to be the more common of the two. The Type 1, I don't have one to show you, but it's much bolder letters. It's not just in the word states. It's really across the entire writing on the back. So if it's tough for you to tell when you look at them, just look at the entire back. If the letters are really, really bold, you have a Type 1. If they're thinner and a little more, they're struck better, then it's a Type 2. That said, we are looking at not a huge money difference until you get into the MS63, and the Type 1s do command a little bit more money. PCGS says that mine would be worth an XF40 about $2. That jives with eBay. They were about $1.75 with 99-cent shipping or free shipping. So not a huge win here, but a little bit more than face value, so I'll take it. We did look at the rest of our coins, and as you can see from PCGS, I don't have anything that's MS63 or higher. I have drilled in, even all the way down to AU50. We are talking most of the rest of these are $1. To wrap this up, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it's a little long, I apologize, but I was teaching myself a lot of this material as I was looking at these coins, and I felt it was right to kind of share that knowledge that I was gaining with you. In case you have a bunch of Ike dollars laying around the house or happen to find one at the bank, you would know what to look for if there's, you know, a little bit of extra money in it on top of the face value. For this bank teller find, of course, we're always happy with some 40% silver. Call it like a $4 win there. And we had 3 1972 Type 3 coins, which based on eBay listings, they're going for anywhere from about, call it $4 up to about $8 in this condition. So, you know, if I said $5 a coin as an average, that's not bad. You know, that's $15 for a $3 purchase and $4 for a 50-cent purchase. The rest of these coins, I could probably command $1.50 or $2 on eBay, but I'm not going to go to that kind of trouble to make 30 cents per coin. So likely I'll cherry pick some of the nicer ones and return the rest to the bank because I'm just not, I don't hoard Ike dollars. That said, I do have about 20 that I picked up from another bank teller several months ago, and I just never bothered to go through them. And this has inspired me to go through those to see if I have anything of interest in those. And I'll be sure to post another video if I do. If you like this video, now take the time to head on down below, click on that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you clicked on that subscribe button and then clicked on that bell and selected all so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. I'd really appreciate it. Leave me a comment as well. I love to hear from you guys. If I said anything wrong or I misjudged any of these coins or you know better than I do, let me know in the comments down below. With that said, you guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.